The second sign and the second seal. That's what we're looking at today. And the outbreak of war. We could call this the war seal. When the Antichrist was revealed, or will be revealed, probably having been democratically voted and given a crown, he looks ahead to conquer the world in a simple way. He's offering peace. That's what the nations of the world want. They want peace, and he's offering peace. But it's a false peace. He was greatly assisted in his campaign by the false prophets, and of course he was given this position of ruler over the nations. Now Daniel says in Daniel 9:27, in the middle of the week, the 7-year tribulation, he will put an end to the sacrifices and desecrate the temple. The false peace will come to an abrupt halt because he will commit the abomination of desolation in the temple. Now, what exactly that is, we're not sure, but it could be some kind of horrible idol put into the temple instead of God. And that was desecrating the temple. Now, once that is done, the next sign then starts and the next seal is then broken. The second sign in Matthew 24, verse 6 and 7, Jesus said, as he sat on the Mount of Olives, remember, you will hear of wars and rumours of wars. See that you are not frightened or troubled, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise up against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Matthew 24, verses 6 and 7. Now going to our parallel passage in Revelation 6, verses 3 and 4. And when he, that's the Lamb, broke the second seal, I heard the second living creature, that's a cherubim, call out, come! And another horse came out, flaming red, different colour this time, and its rider was empowered to take peace from the earth, remember that, so that men slaughtered one another, and he was given a huge sword. Revelation 6, 3 and 4. So when the Lamb breaks the war seal, the next wave of divine judgment is released, and the world will suffer horrific war. Now, false prophets have been persuading people to get to the Antichrist elected, or however he's put in position. They've been persuading people that this man will bring peace, everything will be fine. This is the beginning of a new age. All the Christians, they were the problem. They've been removed because they've gone in the rapture. They were the problem, now everything's going to be okay. Now, notice that this second horse is fiery red. Symbolically, the colour red, biblically and historically, is used for danger. I'll give you some references here. One scriptural reference is Matthew 16 and verse 3. If you're good students, you can look up these references. It can be used for death and destruction, Exodus 15 verse 4. And also red is the colour of evil, the red dragon of Revelation 12 and verse 3. Now the Apostle Paul accurately prophesied this sort of thing would happen in the day of the Lord, which by the way is another way of saying the tribulation. This is from 1 Thessalonians 5 and verses 2 and 3. For you yourselves know perfectly well that the day of the Lord will come as unexpectedly and suddenly as a thief in the night. When the people are saying all is well, all is secure, there's peace and safety, then in a moment, unforeseen destruction, ruin and death will come upon them as suddenly as labour pains comes upon a woman with child. And they shall by no means escape, for there will be no escape. That's 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 2 and 3. Now, why would this rider be given power to remove peace? Very simply, because the people on the earth rejected Jesus Christ, who is the Prince of Peace, and they put their hope in the Antichrist, the false promise of peace from the Antichrist. This God-revealed rider literally took peace away from planet Earth. God gave him authority to do it. He took peace away in a moment. Everything was fine. And then everybody started killing each other. Instead, God gave power to this rider to bring wholesale slaughter of mankind who would butcher one another. The word in the King James is kill, but the Greek is sphazo, Strong's 4969, shvazo. It means butcher, that means cut in pieces. Terrible kind of deaths that people will be suffering at this time. This is the pattern of God's judgment to nations who reject him. Ezekiel said, I will summon a sword against Gog on all my mountains, declares the sovereign Lord. Every man's sword will be against his brother. That's Ezekiel 38:21. That was Ezekiel's prophecy. And a similar prophecy is found in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 25, verse 27. Tell them, this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Drink, get drunk and vomit, and fall to rise no more, because of the sword I will send amongst you. Jeremiah 25:27. Now, how and when will all this kind of international carnage take place? Well, when this second seal is opened, God is going to give the world's civilization over to the sword. The sword of the second seal is going to be there, and the rider will bring in those terrible events. That spirit will be released, and people will start turning on each other. The offer to escape this horrible judgment is still available. The choice is simple. Turn to the Prince of Peace, ask him for salvation through the blood of Christ, or the sword is the future that you will face. It's a simple choice. Make the right choice.